All right, it's 11:03. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Really appreciate the interest and excitement in the Employer Portal, a new feature and capability of our Career Coach product. My name is Luke Jankovic. I'm the EVP of Higher Education Product here at Emsi, and I'm joined by my good friend and colleague, Jason Oliveira, who will be giving an overview of the software today. So I'm going to set up the conversation with some background about why we've decided to build this, or why we did decide to build it, and let Jason walk you through the new capabilities. Before I get started though, Jason, you should say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, let's jump in. Actually, briefly, from a housekeeping perspective, if you have questions, there is a question panel within the webinar software. Feel free to submit your question there, and then at the end of the conversation, a presentation, we'll go ahead and go through those questions. So store them up. We're happy to work through any questions that y'all have. We're sure that we won't cover everything. So let's talk a little bit about the background to the Employer Portal and why we decided to build it and how that even connects to what we do here at Emsi. So if we take this sort of furthest back view about Emsi and why we exist, so we can kind of get on the same page, our mission is to use labor market information to inform and connect people, education, and work. And we believe that a better aligned ecosystem will drive individual and community flourishing. So part of the problem of misalignment for people and communities and businesses is around an information gap. And our goal is to do whatever we can to better design and deliver information to people, to education institutions, and to businesses about how to fulfill and fill the talent and work needs that are out there. And we think the more that those systems align, the more that communities and people will flourish. We often depict it as these three circles and the intersection of them. If you know much about Emsi and our data, we have data about people, data about businesses, data about employment, and data about education, and we're really obsessed about the overlap and how we can make it more navigable for people and all the different stakeholders in the system. One of the pieces of this that's near and dear to my heart is how our Career Coach product today really sits at the center. So if you're not familiar with Career Coach, it's a standalone web-based tool that helps institutions help students see how degrees offered at the institution lead to great career opportunities, so that early on in a student's decision-making progress, they can have a clear vision for what they're shooting for. As we've seen, and the statistics support how important that clear vision is to persistence and completion. People need a goal and a direction, and Career Coach is really about helping students catch a vision for the work opportunities that exist for them after school. To put it differently, Career Coach equips your students to see how your programs lead to great jobs in your area. One of the things we've been asked for years, though, is how to move beyond just showing students that there are jobs to actually connecting students with local employers. We've served hundreds of colleges with Career Coach for years, and it's too many times to count how many institutions have asked us to help highlight and connect students to the employers that the school partners with, who are great partners who love to hire the students. So finally, frankly, we've built this capability for schools so that now with the Employer Portal, Career Coach can directly connect your students to your local employer partners. And what's exciting for us is we're going beyond just providing information to students to helping provide them with job opportunities and connect them to those local employer partners. So there's a lot that I've left unsaid. Jason's going to walk you through the presentation and overview, and we're going to save the rest of the conversation for the Q&A. So if you have questions, get them ready. We're excited to handle them, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this over now to my colleague, Jason.
Hello, everyone. As Luke said, my name's Jason. I'm the product designer for Career Coach, and we're just really excited to finally get this feature out and rolling. And we just really think that this is going to be a huge value add to your career coach and to your institution, and just really connecting your students to your partnered employers locally. Yeah, and so I'm just going to dive right in here and start with an example through Alvin Community College. And what we're looking at right here is the homepage. And this is where users get to jump in and they can take a career assessment and see how their strengths line up with careers. And they can also browse careers, look through lists and categories of different careers, and view wage data regarding your local community, or they can start browsing programs. And here they also have access to our resume builder. And with the employer portal, we've added a new page called Work Opportunities. And this is where students get to view a list of all of the postings that come from your partnered employers all on one page. So we're going to dive right into here. And as you can see, Alvin has a number of postings from their partnered employers. And this is where students get to search by keyword. So anything that appears in the posting title, the company name itself, or the description. They can also filter by job type, so full-time, part-time, internships, apprenticeships. And they can browse all of the job postings right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click into Dental Assistant here. And as you can see, they get the full job description. If I scroll down, you can get a company description too if the employer opts to put that in there. They could click right into their website to get more information. And this is where they also get to submit their resume right within Career Coach. Looks like I need to log in there. I can show you that portion in a different prototype here. But as you can see, this is where the user gets to see all of the postings. And in addition to this, employers have the opportunity to indicate which postings show up on which career pages within Career Coach. So I'll go ahead and right here, I'll look for dentistry. Click into dental assistance again. And this is a career page where users get to see wage data, annual job openings, available programs at the institution. And if we jump over, you can see these different tabs here. They can get information about daily tasks, typical education levels for this career, and then also jump over to live job postings. And again, this is where employers get to indicate, I want this posting on this career page. So this employer has indicated that they want this posting in dental assistance. And again, this is where users get to jump in, see the job description, all that information again, and submit their Career Coach resume. And the great thing about these postings is that they appear at the top of the page. And traditionally in Career Coach, we've had these Indeed job postings. And these are job postings that we just in from Indeed.com. And the difference here is that when a user clicks on Indeed job postings, it takes them out of the tool. But now with our partnered employers, users can just click right in, view the information, and submit their resume that they've built in Career Coach right to that job. Once they've submitted a resume, they can view all of a list of all the resumes that they've submitted to in the resume builder. So they can go back and review those at any time. They can even update those resumes or remove them if they decided that they no longer want to participate in that posting. So that's what it looks like on the front end of Career Coach. And now I'm going to jump in to what an admin would see if you were to be approving employers and reviewing postings. So here is the Career Coach admin, and this is where users get to see statistics on how their Career Coach site is running, how many profiles are being generated, view profile information, and now admins get to see their partnered employers and all the postings that are being generated. So here we see a list of the approved employers, and right now every employer that wants access to your Career Coach site must be approved by an institution's admin that you indicate to us at the beginning of your Career Coach. So here we see the list of employers. These ones have been approved. We can also see pending employers, and these are employers that are requesting approval to post to your Career Coach site. So here we can see employer information, see their website, the company description, their location, contact email, and phone number. And then here we can either approve or deny that employer. So let's say that the employer's information could be more complete. You could press deny and give them a message saying what you would like to see in their employer profile. So if an employer is denied, they can review their information, update it, and request approval again. And then once they're approved, they show up in your approved employers list. So in this list, again, you can see the employer information, website, description, location, contact info. We can see how many live postings they have on your Career Coach site. We can see how many have ended, and we can see how many hires that they have. And this is indicated when a job posting has ended, either through a timestamp, or if the employer ends it manually, they have the opportunity to select by a list of names from applicants who they hired, whether it was somebody directly through Career Coach or if they ended up choosing an applicant from outside of Career Coach. Then right below that, we have the employer postings. And again, this is where you could get a bird's eye view of all the postings that are live on your Career Coach site. Here we can review the posting description, the position type, how long it's running for, and what Career Coach pages that this appears on. One thing to note here, as an admin, you have the ability to edit these postings. So if you've noticed that an employer has posted on a few Career Coach pages, but you think that there's more related careers that they could be targeting, you can actually go in and change this and add more career pages for that employer. Again, you can review the employer information. We can see how many views that posting has, how many applicants. You can download the applicant resume if you'd like and review that. We can see how long, when it was posted, the type, and then this is where you can edit the posting or end it if need be. So just like the employers list, you also have a list of pending postings. And these show up when an employer has created a new posting and they would like approval to post it on your Career Coach site. So here we can see all the same information. We can see the employer, the description, position type, double check on what career pages it's appearing on, view information on the employer, and once you feel comfortable, you can approve that posting and it will immediately become live on Career Coach. Or you could send the posting back to the employer for edits. And once it's approved, it goes back into this live list where you can sort these columns alphabetically, numerically, by job type, and review all those there. Once postings have ended, either by the default end date, or if the employer ends it manually, they show up in this ended list. And you can see all the same information again. You can review the applicants. And if a career coach user has been hired for that job and the employer has indicated that, you'll see a little star next to their name. And you can keep track of who is hired that way. And everyone who is hired also appears in the employer's list if you just want to jump to see how many people have been hired per employer. So a lot of people see this and understand it, but they also want to see what the process is like for the employer. So I'm just going to jump over to the employer view and just show you how a job posting is created. So this is the employer dashboard, and this is where they create new postings for Career Coach. It looks very similar to the admin. And to add a new posting, they just go in, they can add a job title, they can add a description, choose a job type, choose when the posting will expire. So this is by default 30 days. They can choose up to 2 years if need be. And then this is where they get to indicate which Career Coach pages this appears on. So I will choose interior designers, and they can add as many of these as they like. Hopefully they're all related careers, and as an admin you have the ability to go in and check that out and edit if need be. And then they send for approval. Once they send for approval, you get an email alert letting you know that there's a new posting waiting for you, and then you could jump right into your admin, review it, approve it, and it will go straight to your Career Coach site. So that's everything I have for you regarding the interface, and we'd be happy to talk more about this and answer questions. I think we have enough time to go through some of these. So
yeah, let me go ahead and look through some of the questions here. The first was, is the webinar being recorded? Yes, it is. We'll send that link out to folks after the meeting. The next question is, how can workforce regions utilize Career Coach to assist customers in employment and/or training pathways? That is a great question. We have several regional groups where we're partners from across the workforce system. I'm going to kind of make some assumptions here about the question. Collaborate on Career Coach and make it available to the different populations they serve, including workforce, workforce board, college, and other folks in a regional system. And we'd be happy to talk through what those implementations look like and how they can help serve a more broad regional need across organizations. So feel free to shoot us an email. I'll put my email address at the end of the presentation. The next question is, so the About tab has national Emsi data and wages, employment, and live postings, or are they all based on the geographic filter set? In Career Coach on the career pages, the employment data is all local to the region, and depending on the implementation, the user can modify that as well. So our goal is to make the employment opportunity data as local and relevant as possible. So that is not national data. Jason used Alvin as an example to show a live employer portal site, and they have data for the region in Texas and the state of Texas that they serve, and the students see that information. Next question. A lot of our employers have job opportunities listed on their own website. Can they just post a URL to their own site? Well, they have to become an approved employer to be able to post on the employer portal. So they'd have to become an approved employer, and there's a link to do that. And they'll have to, in the job description, copy and paste the text that they have over there into Career Coach. And one of the reasons we've focused on that, trying to force employers to provide more information, is because we want the Career Coach experience to be as good or better than their own site in terms of understanding what opportunities exist. So we're going to encourage employers to create a profile and copy over their postings so that they get good quality applicants. Next question, can an admin add additional or custom fields to job listings? At this time, no. But we are learning as we go. This is our first implementation of Career Coach. This is the employer portal. It's the first version. So we are very open to feedback from users about other fields and elements that would be helpful to have. But there's no custom field feature right now. Next question, on the Career Coach homepage where it said career assessment, is there one that you provide for that tab? Yes, we do have a career assessment within Career Coach. We have a 6-question assessment and a 60-question. They're both Holland RIASEC based career assessments that our users who are students take advantage of if they're not sure kind of what fields they might be a good fit for. So there is a career assessment that we deliver to users. Next question, administration and IT is very concerned about student security. Is there any way by having access to this software that someone from an employer can access student personal information not listed on resume? The answer is no. So the only time that an employer sees information about a student is when the student submits their resume to the employer. The next question is, would this module be an additional cost to Career Coach? And the answer is no. This is additional functionality that we built to improve the value of Career Coach, and we've decided to not charge more for it. And if you're interested in being implemented and adopting this new capability, it is an option that we can turn on or off. It's a configurable option, so you can choose not to have it or to have it. And having it, kind of fun news, is not going to cost you any more money. The next question is there a place to upload a cover letter with the resume? The answer is no, not at this time, but we are working hard on changing the way that resumes work within Career Coach to allow for students to create their own resume document outside of Career Coach, upload it, and then submit it. So we should be able to accommodate cover letters in the near future. But it's not possible today, but coming soon. Can an admin export job and employer data? Jason?
Not yet. So we're working on this being the first version of the employer portal. We're still working on getting our analytics up to speed with the interface, but we have a whole list of possible options for analytics, and you're able to export other data from the admin, and we're working on getting the employer portal caught up with that functionality. So we're working on it.
Next question, what does it look like for employers when a student applies, and do employers communicate with students through Career Coach? So yeah, go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, great. So when a student applies through Career Coach, the employer will get an email alert, and they can click on a link that will take them right back into their employer portal. And just as we saw here, the employer will see a list of applicants, and they'll see this exact same box here. So they can see the name, when the resume was submitted, and download their resume there. And then the employer can get in contact with that student as they see as appropriate.
Yeah, so we don't have the ability for the employer to message the student through Career Coach. have to use the contact information that exists on the resume. Next question. Will this portion of the platform work within Career Coach's API? The answer to that is that we haven't gotten there yet. We'd be interested in hearing your ideas about implementations of this through the API and what you mean in particular, but it's definitely a conversation we're open to having. Next question. In regards to applying for jobs, can students upload a resume or do they have to use the resume builder in Career Coach? Is there any way for Career Center staff to review and approve resumes through the system?
So the answer to that is we are currently building a solution to allow users to upload a resume that they've built on their own outside of Career Coach. And with that feature, that will also allow them to submit those resumes to postings. In regards to having Career Center staff review and approve resumes, there isn't necessarily an approval process that we have set in place for staff, but again, in the admin, you can actually look up your user profiles and view their resumes that way. So you can get information on particular users, you can search their name and pull up their resume and review it that way. So if staff members are working with particular students and that student is building a resume, that staff member can review that resume at any time.
But if I read this question though, what it implies to me, Jason, is do we have a workflow where a student will say, here's my resume, and then staff will be alerted and have the opportunity, like with a posting, to approve or deny with reasons for changing so that the staff can help guide the student in improving their resume. That's how I read the question, or maybe what the use case is behind it. And the answer from our perspective on that is not yet, but it is an emerging need that we're seeing that we're very open to hearing more about in terms of how we iterate and improve the tool moving forward. If a workflow for approving resumes is really, really important to making sure students submit great resumes and everyone has a good experience, then we will take that into consideration. So, next question. Career Coach is linked to Indeed for live job postings. Can an employer post their active job from Indeed to this site? Not at this time, but that is an interesting idea. If I'm going to, again, my email is going to be at the end. Actually, why don't I do that right now? So I'd say feel free to email me further if you have more questions, we haven't answered the question, or if you feel like you're asking about things that we should be building to extend out this value and capability. I would love to hear from you. Next question is from Kevin. First of all, this is fantastic. So isn't a question with an exclamation point. Well, we're glad you're excited. The question is, any tips or best practices that anyone can share to recruit employers? And my best answer for that right now is we have a few ideas, but we've been at this for about 2 months now. This functionality has been live for 2 months, and we don't want to act like we know more than we do. So we look forward to learning with the community of Career Coach customers about how to recruit employers, for sure. Next question. Can a resume created outside of Career Coach be submitted? Today, no. But to Jason's earlier point, we are working in this current development cycle. We're building the ability for Career Coach users to upload their own resume document, be it a Word document or a PDF, so that they can submit it for a posting. We're excited about that capability. That's feedback that we've heard early in the process as we went through the beta phase for Employer Portal, was the need for students to be able to submit not just a Career Coach resume, but an actual document. So we're moving full speed on that. Next question. If we already have a career service manager where we manage our job postings. Can a link be added to this in Career Coach? I'm not sure what's meant by Career Service Manager. If that is implying another service for job postings and employer postings, can we link out to it? And that's something that could be possible, and we from just a linking perspective, but it wouldn't necessarily be integratable. But we'd be happy to answer the question in more depth with some more background. So feel free to shoot me an email, and we'll follow up. Next question, will the Indeed listings still show up under live job postings and be connected to the program as they are already? The answer to that is yes. That current behavior will stay the same. If you have Career Coach, if you have the employer portal turned on and you have a posting for that career page, it will show up above the Indeed postings as a partnered employer posting. If there are no postings from employers related to that career page, then it will just behave as it is today, showing the live postings from Indeed. Next question. What does the employer registration form look like? I'd be curious to see how they set up their profile to provide application instructions. The employer registration form is based on a link from the work opportunities page, so you can send a link to your employers, and it is a straightforward data collection tool that they fill out a form, and it gets submitted back to the institution for approval. We'd be happy to walk you through that on a separate call just to get your feedback and make sure you understand how that works. So again, please let me know. I'm signing up for work here. I like it. Send me emails. Also, I should say that we decided to do this webinar in the office next to the road. And like most communities that have winter, summer is the time for road construction. So our apologies for our dust. Our road is getting worked on. Next question, can students send the resume directly from the one they made in Resume Builder? The answer to that is yes. They can just select to submit the Resume Builder resume directly to an employer posting. Next question, sorry if I missed this, can students upload resumes and apply for jobs using a resume that they made outside of Career Coach? The answer again is not right now, but in the coming weeks, we will have that capability for students. Next question, do employers receive notifications when job seekers apply, or do they need to check their account independently?
The answer to that is the employer will get an email alert when a user submits a resume, and from there, there's a link included in the email where they can go straight into the employer portal and review that applicant's information.
Next question, can students upload multiple resumes? We get students who may want to apply for different types of roles, for example, admin and HR, and they want to use different resumes for each application. So I wanted to know if that's an option. In our upcoming, the functionality I just talked about, where the student can use a resume not built in Resume Builder, they will also be able to have multiple documents that they could choose from. So they could have 3 different Word doc resumes on their Career Coach profile uploaded that they could use to submit for different types of roles. So yes, we're not there yet, but when we release that functionality of the ability to upload a non-Career Coach resume, it will also allow them to have more than one. Next question, can an admin import data to the solution from an existing alternate solution? We don't have a batch import feature. For the schools we've implemented so far, they either do not have this capability or they are transferring postings and employers over by hand. We do have functionality for admins to create employers and to create postings to make that easier so the school can sort of replicate what currently exists. That said, that might be a significant lift, so we're definitely open to thinking about how to switch over if that's something that we run into a lot. The next question again is there a cost for this feature? And the answer is no. It's not an additional cost, it's included in the subscription to Career Coach. Next question, with the submission of resumes, is there now a way for people with accounts to upload a resume, or is the only resume the resume they can make a Career Coach? Answer to that we've covered already. Next question, when will this be live? This is live today, so if you're a Career Coach customer and you'd like to start using the employer portal, reach out to your account manager or to me, and we will get you started. That's fun to say. It doesn't cost more, and it's live.
We can flip the switch.
We can flip the switch. Who initially contacts the employers? Is it through Indeed? So there's two ways that employers can be brought into the process. Either employers can be looking at your career coach and find the site to be able to post jobs. We've had that behavior happen where an employer finds the site and clicks through to sign up, because there's a call to action. If you're an employer and you want to post, sign up. But primarily, the primary path has been for our customers has been to loop in the partner employers that the school has, and use the relationship network that already exists to make them aware of this capability and get those postings on those career pages and on that work opportunity page. Next question, is the platform available in Canada? And the answer is not yet. We're working on converting the Canadian career coach to the new code base that the US career coach runs on, and the employer portal is only available on the US career coach. How long is the student's data stored, Jason?
The student's data is stored until they delete their career coach account. Okay. And at that point, it's cleared totally from the system.
Next question, can hires be sorted by program of study? Not yet, but that's a really interesting use case, or interesting perspective. Next question, does the platform offer job alerts or notifications? No, not yet. It does, when a student submits a resume, if an employer can reach out to them, so there's that alert. Employers get alerted, the school gets alerted, but we don't have a way for students to be alerted of new postings in areas of interest to them. And if my reading of the question is correct, I think they're getting that direction of, is it going to be possible for a student, let's say, to see any new, let's say I'm a student in the welding program and I want to see any posting related to my program of study that comes up for an internship or a job. That is a capability we are in the design phase on, in that we see that as an important way for students to stay engaged and to really be better connected to employers. So we're working on it, but it's not, assuming that I read the question right, we are not there yet, but it's definitely on our roadmap of things we would like to do and that we see as an important value for students. Next question, can you run reports, number of jobs posted, applications, et cetera, over a certain amount of time? This isn't about exporting, Jason, this is just about reporting. Can we filter and do statistics today within the admin?
We can filter all the statistics and sort through all of, like, basically any statistic you're looking for around profiles and traffic. We're currently working on a solution that relates to the employer portal. So today we don't have a way to sort out all those statistics around the employer portal, but we're designing a solution for the future. So not yet.
So in the same way that we have like statistics about usage for career coach in general, you see a reporting statistics component about the employer portal that would be filterable by time series and things like that.
Yeah, and we're capturing all of that data now. We don't have a way to display it yet. So the data is there.
Got it. So yes, but not yet. Question, can resumes be sorted by program of study to make it easier for instructors to find their students? Not today, but that is a really interesting perspective that we will put into our thinking, how to better give handles to advisors and instructors in terms of filtering down to the subset of students. Question, if we wanted to turn this on, when would it be set? We can go ahead and start it at any time, and once it's on, it's on. So reach out to us for any further details. We're happy to make sure you're comfortable with what that looks like, and if you're ready to make a decision, we want to give you all the information you need. So please reach out to me or to your account manager. Next question, if a state workforce center has employers that are approved in this system, can they be uploaded to the approved employers within Career Coach? We do not have the capability of doing that today, but one of the neat things about all these questions is I'm just writing down valuable sort of use cases that we haven't come across yet, and this is another one of them. So not yet, but definitely of interest in terms of ways we can improve and increase the capability. Question, so far, what have been successful strategies for engaging employers? One of the things that we have done is worked with a couple of the schools who've been using the employer portal to develop some content to recruit employers. We'd be happy to share that. I will say, though, that the origin story of this employer portal functionality it really came from schools saying, we're glad you have job postings from our area here for students to see what kinds of companies they could work for. The problem is we've got 3 great employers we work with already for this program and career that's not explicit here. We can't really highlight our partners. So our first take was to build for schools who have partners already. And we haven't really cracked the nut or worked too much on how do we increase that partner pool. So from a best practice perspective, we're as open to any input or ideas as any parts of our broader user community are. Again, our first sort of proximate goal was, if you have partner employers, let's make that really clear so your students can see how your programs lead to great jobs in your area, and how you have employers who actually are hiring today for your students. Next question, will this presentation be given during the upcoming Emsi user conference? We don't plan on doing the same presentation. We will be talking about the employer portal, but that's helpful feedback. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and ask her this question if you'd shoot me an email about what you'd like to see about this functionality in a presentation where we could go deeper, what components, that'd be super helpful as we think about content for the conference. So thank you, good question. Next question, can you foresee a resume search feature where employers can search all resumes in the system? And the answer is yes, absolutely. We want to make it as easy as possible for students to expose themselves to the pool of partner employers, and for partner employers to identify potential candidates for internships, work experience, or hires right out of school. So that is on our roadmap and something that we're very keen on doing. We just haven't built that far yet. Next question, how do employers report that they've hired a particular applicant for a posted position? When the posting expires, the employer, or when it expires or when they expire it, they are prompted to input which applicant they hired, or to note that they hired someone outside of the applicant pool that was submitted through Career Coach. Next question, why don't you flip the switch on all accounts and provide global online training seminars to current Emsi clients rather than on demand? And the answer to this is we didn't want to force this functionality on folks. There are a lot of schools with solutions already for how to manage employer job postings and student resume, that sort of career service functionality. And our goal has been to let users self-select, because we found that institutions have a lot of preferences for why they do things, and we didn't want to assume for the whole user group. That said, there is in-depth online on-demand support for implementing if you do choose to. What's the default length of a posting is the next question. It's 30 days. Next question is, when will it be available in Canada? And the honest answer is I can't promise a date on that yet. We're working on the transition to the new Career Coach sort of code base that exists in the US and Canada. And once that's in place, we'll have a better idea of when we might deliver it in Canada, and we have some learning to do about if the Canadian employment and job posting behaviors, policies, regulations, etc., are the same as the U.S., which we don't know much about. We'd be happy to get input on that, though, from our Canadian friends and partners. Next question: could employers post jobs linked to a career cluster, including multiple job pathways and occupations like manufacturing, rather than specific occupations? Jason.
At this point, they can only indicate which specific career pages they want the posting to appear on. But I think this is an interesting idea.
Yeah,
and
totally.
And it could save some employers a lot of time. So.
Yeah, we've actually had that consideration on that work opportunity page, which is the listing of all postings. If we should create like a high-level category of healthcare type postings or production or office admin or IT. So that's helpful feedback. And any feedback, any signals, any ideas, pain points you all share, we do listen to, and it does impact how we think about what we're building. So please provide. Next question: if we wanted to reach out to some or all the employers posting, is there a way to mass message them in the system? No, not today. Not today. It's interesting use case, interesting function.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's your question, feel free to ping me. I'd be interested to hear why, like when that would be helpful and how, so we can think about it, where it might fit in our design roadmap. Next question: will Career Coach integrate with Analyst? I'm going to do the cheap answer. I'm going to do the lazy answer, which is it already does, because it uses the same data, which I know isn't really what the asker is asking. Not directly. I don't want to speak kind of open-ended about that, so it's sort of a facetious answer. I apologize. I'd be interested in what's behind that question and which ways the integration would be valuable before I speak to just if we're going to integrate them. I'm a big fan of never promising things in a vacuum. Next question, actually last question. Thank you guys for your engagement and attention and questions so far. It's much appreciated. The last question, though, is can a list of all jobs be displayed in a job board format versus within individual program occupation pages? The answer is yes. The work opportunity page becomes a page, a tab on the front page of Career Coach. So I'm assuming the participant did not see the beginning where we show that capability. But yeah, absolutely. All right, with that, thank you all so much for your time and for your attention, for the insight I think we've already gained from the questions about new things we might consider adding to this initial capability. And again, thank you to you, our partners, for helping us deliver information to students to help better connect people, education, and work. It's exciting to support and serve you guys. So feel free to reach out to me or your account manager with any other questions, and have a great day. Thanks a lot.